Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
So White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt announced that the Associated Press has been banned from the Oval Office for not honoring the recent renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf.
Television viewers were left stunned yesterday after a jaw-dropping moment unfolded live on The View. What started off as a typical roundtable about today's shifting political climate quickly spiraled into one of the show's most intense clashes to date. Veteran host and Hollywood legend Whoopi Goldberg found herself in a heated back and forth with rising Republican figure Karoline Leavitt. The initial conversation focused on the growing momentum of young conservative voices, but things took a fiery turn fast. Goldberg raised concerns about whether the younger generation truly understands the historical context of the issues at hand. Leavitt didn't hold back, confidently pushing back against Goldberg's points and challenging her stance head-on. As tensions rose and voices sharpened, the studio grew increasingly tense. Then came the moment no one expected. Visibly frustrated, Goldberg removed her microphone and walked off the set, leaving her co-hosts and a live audience completely speechless. The dramatic walk-off instantly caught fire online, with social media erupting in reactions and sparking a storm of debate. Within minutes, Why Whoopi Walked was trending across platforms, cementing the moment as a major flashpoint in the world of daytime TV.
This is her first job. I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
She basically said that they were going to give
Oh,
unqualified
God, how boring.
unqualified
Can they get
people
somebody there
jobs.
not so
Behind
tedious?
the Table podcast needs to apply for White House credentials.
Oh, they'd love having Joy in that room.
Joy
I got a question.
So wait a second. So in other words, instead of Bob Woodward, they want Kim Kardashian.
Our team will carefully review each application and grant credentials to new media applicants who meet our standards and have previously satisfied U.S. Secret Service requirements for access to the White House complex.
Help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last...
Viewers were left speechless as The View delivered one of its most dramatic moments in recent memory. What began as a regular panel discussion spiraled into live TV chaos when veteran host Whoopi Goldberg and rising Republican firebrand Karoline Leavitt clashed in a heated debate. Leavitt, unfazed by the seasoned panel, locked eyes with Goldberg and threw down a pointed challenge. Whoopi, did your generation solve all of America's problems? What gives you the right to lecture ours? The audience fell silent, sensing they were witnessing a television moment that wouldn't be forgotten. From there, tensions only soared. Goldberg, visibly stirred, pushed back hard. America still stands because of what we fought for, she said passionately. We survived wars, fought for civil rights, and lived through real upheaval. Your generation tweets, ours marched, but Leavitt wasn't backing down. She fired back with a sharp rebuttal that drew gasps from the crowd. Then why does our country look like this? The open borders, a shaky economy, crumbling values, we're here to clean up the mess. Murmurs spread across the studio as Goldberg, visibly rattled, set down her water glass. The atmosphere was heavy. Then, in a moment no one saw coming, she stood up, removed her mic, and made for the exit. This debate isn't worth having if the truth doesn't matter, she said over her shoulder. I'm done. And with that, she was gone. The dramatic walkout, captured live, exploded across social media. Within minutes, #WhoopiWalksOut was trending, fueling fierce online debate. Some praised Leavitt as bold and fearless, claiming she held her own and made Whoopi retreat. One post didn't flinch. She get back with facts and Whoopi couldn't take it. Another said, you don't walk away from the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. But Goldberg's supporters weren't having it. She didn't walk away from the truth. She walked away from nonsense. One user argued Whoopi doesn't have to sit there and entertain inflammatory rhetoric. She made her point and left. Back in the studio, co-hosts scrambled to restore order. As the dust settled, Leavitt addressed the stunned audience. With a calm but confident smile, she said, "The truth isn't always easy, but we're here to keep the conversation going." Some applauded. Others stayed quiet. The fallout continues to dominate headlines and stir intense debates across media platforms. For many, it's already being called one of the most explosive moments in The View's live history. And now, one big question remains: was Whoopi Goldberg right to walk away, or did Karoline Leavitt prove her point? Next voice, next voice. As a neutral observer, the clash between Whoopi Goldberg and Karoline Leavitt goes far beyond a TV dispute. It reflects a much deeper divide across generations and political ideologies in America. Both women spoke to different audiences. Whoopi's frustration appeared rooted in a belief that history matters, that the sacrifices, progress, and hard-earned victories of her generation shouldn't be dismissed. Her message carried a sense that younger voices may sometimes overlook the complexities that shape today's freedoms. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt represented a new wave of political thought, one that sees pressing problems like economic instability, immigration issues, and cultural friction as signs that previous leadership may have fallen short. Her bold tone challenged the idea that past generations deserve immunity from criticism just because of what they endured. Whoopi's decision to walk off the set sparked a big question. What does it mean to leave a debate? Some saw it as avoiding opposition, an unwillingness to hear a different viewpoint. Others viewed it as an act of strength and self-respect, a refusal to engage in what she may have considered a one-sided or unproductive exchange. Likewise, Leavitt's closing remarks about keeping the conversation going could be interpreted two ways, either as composed leadership or a subtle jab that poured fuel on the fire. The public reaction mirrored the divide. On social media, users quickly picked sides. Supporters of Leavitt praised her courage and clarity. Goldberg's defenders applauded her for walking away from what they saw as inflammatory rhetoric. This moment became more than just a heated discussion. It became a snapshot of today's polarized political climate, where even televised conversations turn into battlegrounds. But maybe the real takeaway isn't about who won or who walked. Maybe it's a reminder that platforms like The View, where differing perspectives meet, should be places where respectful dialogue can thrive, even when things get tense. So, what's your take? Is walking away from a tough debate show weakness, or can it be a form of self-control when the conversation stops being constructive? Thanks for watching and being part of this important discussion. If you found this insightful and want to keep up with the latest debates, news, and trending moments, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.